You face the boss of blades.
All right, it is time for the Open League round one. We are facing a player that has not played in one of our tournaments yet, named D.KAY, and they're on Ashiok. We are playing a variation of a deck that we love called Cattie's Claws, but we removed the Hurt Claws and instead added a boar in the form of Ilharg. So let's see how it goes. We are going first. We have Cattie and birds. I think I'm just going to keep the channeler here. And we got a second channeler and a horn charge lantern. So not a particularly strong opening hand, to be honest. Circle the druid. We are playing, of course, too. And our opponent is on School of the Wizard. So we'll see if we can draw something a little bit better out of this, or if we can get a 5-drop. There we go. We got our Ilharg. So 3/3 channeler on 1. Pretty strong. So our opponent only has, for 1-drop creatures, 2 copies of Crab. If they don't have a Crab, they don't really have an out to this. They're doing a turn 1 Scepter. So we are going to get in there for a little bit of damage on 1. There's our boy Omnath. I'm going to go ahead and play the Channeler of Might here, swinging for 3. So we do have the Omnath. And a little bit of pressure early on, so we may not actually need a giant Omnath. We may just need a normal size Omnath. Distracting Fear from a Scepter seems really strong. Get a heading. We already have the Omnath, so they're going to be taking some damage at this point. And we do have our Wolf here. So we're going to play the Wolf, get in there for 6. Pass it back to our opponent. Absolutely aggroing them down with our Nissa for game 1. Turn 3, they're at a mere 13 health. There is the Barkhide. We are probably just going to hold on to it. Play the Horn Charge Lantern and then just swing it in, to be honest. We could have gone Barkhide into Omnath on 6. I'd rather just not do that. We already have a very, very big board going on. Our opponent's down to 7 health already, and I don't believe they're playing Death Shadows or anything. Lore Keeper. Okay. We also might just be able to clean up with an Ilharg. So we could have done turn 5 Omnath and a turn 6 Ilharg. But, yeah. That's just game. Yeah, Grudge Smash off the top. We just play an Agronissa out here. We just play an Agronissa. Their early game was not particularly strong, unfortunately. So yeah, we're just winning here turn 5, beating them down with turn 1 Channeler, turn 2 Channeler. And that's game 1. Alright, so now it is time for game 2. All that we did was we took out Lavinia and we put in a copy of Negate. Negate being pretty strong in that we can protect an Omnath for an extra turn if we need to, or we could use it to negate our opponent's ability to use School of the Wizard, which would definitely decrease their damage. We are going first again. We could go Rampant Growth, Gas Staff, Critterhoof. I don't like Critterhoof opening hand here, but I think I just keep the Rampant Growth. I don't necessarily want the Agitators here yet either. So our hand is very slow. We're literally just on a very slow hand. What we're going to want to do is probably just go for a Wolf on 2. Maybe Rampant Growth or Barkhide on 3. Hopefully we draw a little bit more. Not the same aggro kind of hand we had as last time. Treetop. Treetop is still a 3/3. That's pretty good. Opponent dropping a Lore Keeper here on 1. It's pretty good. I think I just dropped the Treetop here. That's fine. I don't necessarily want to drop the wolf at this point, because this is probably the kind of matchups where I want to keep. So we have a grudge match. This could be pretty good. We're just going to swing in. They are going to block here. That is interesting. And I think I'm just going to ramp in growth here. Because then we can get to our Primeval Titan and Ilharg a little bit faster. Okay, they got the get ahead, hoping they don't get Omnath. Wizard Simulator here. It is annoying. Not even attacking. Alright. So we are going to go ahead, play the wolf. Swinging in with our 3-1 here. Seeing if they'll block with the Lore Keeper. Or there's a familiar. I mean, if they block with the Lore Keeper, there was no reason they couldn't have just, you know, block with the other guy too. I could grudge match here. I don't think I want to. Grudge match is one of the only removal spells I have. So it's not particularly good to do. Drain Blood does take out our wolf. That is annoying. Signature spell for our opponent. They did not swing, which is weird. Yeah, we'll just play ourselves a Primeval Titan. That seems pretty good. So our opponent is likely gonna have a they're likely gonna be able to use their one spell next turn. The Elemental Mastery. There's the Lore Keeper. And an Extract Fear as well, putting us down to Nightmares. Immediately playing the Rampant Growth that they got. We are just going to go ahead and attack here. We are going to block. I'm going to put up the negate. And I think I don't play the birds here. I think I just pass it. Now, if they're smart, they're going to play a 1-cost spell and then go into Elemental Mastery. But they're just going to try and play the Elemental Mastery, and we are going to negate it. So 2 mana, countering their 6 mana spell. Seems pretty good. We're going to go in with the Lore Keeper, dealing us 2 damage. We put a lot of Nightmares in our deck, but did not actually get any Nightmares on us. We do have a Critter Hoof here. I could grudge match and then go for hitting them in the face. That seems pretty good. Now that we don't have to worry about Elemental Mastery, we can start plugging in for some damage. We've seen about a third of our deck. We have 2 spells that we could buff up Omnath, but we don't have a way to give him Trample yet. Our Ilharg here, though, is a 9/8. So that could be pretty good. We take 1 Nightmare. We're just going to pop down the Ilharg. Go ahead and swing in for 9 damage. And pretty much be like, do you have an answer to an Ilharg? That doesn't trigger its finale, because if it triggers finale, then I'll get the trample artifact, which I definitely want. For when I do it, I actually draw my Omnath, because that pretty much would seal the game. They're going for a Chaos Lightning, interestingly enough. Does a little bit of damage to us, and a little bit of damage to the Ilharg. Crimson Ray does defeat the Ilharg, so it is cool. But if we get Omnath, I think they're just screwed if we get the Omnath, I think. Couple of damage to us. It is annoying. We are just going to go ahead and heal and play the Tristani here. Fountain of Magic for our opponent, giving them a random spell to their hand. close to a 50% chance of getting ourselves an Omnath, Scepter, and Crab. Our entire hand is ramp, so if we get Draga Druid, we're definitely going to go for it. We can also go for the Brontosaurus if we wanted to. Like, we could Bark Hide, and we can use the artifact and do a little bit of damage that way. Destabilize, interesting. So that puts it down to a little bit in health. Woodland Hermitage, let's see what it do. Hermit of the Flock, we are taking Nightmares in that. And a Primal Summoning. We're going to go for the Primal Summoning. Hope our opponent did not get a negate. Primeval Titan, Draga Druid, 3 Nightmares in that. Grudge Match. No Omnath. Omnath is in the bottom of our deck, more or less. Is annoying. Play a free Primeval Titan. We are going to Grudge Match here. We are going to not... I don't think we are going to buff. Yeah, we're going to buff. Then we're going to hit for 7, which is trample damage. Putting our opponent to 20. But bottom two-thirds of our deck is the Omnath. They get themselves a 6-mana catti-brie, hitting our little trample guy here, and going for another Scepter. 6-mana 4/4. Not the best card, to be honest. I think our play is just going to be double Hermit. Just heal 8. That seems pretty good. Forest Patrol, getting a couple blockers. But there's our Omnath. And we have the artifact, so we are going to play the Omnath. And we're going to play the Bark Hide. And we're going to play the Rampant Growth. We could have just done this, but we don't know because we're not necessarily guaranteed anything. And to be fair, we are already 100% overkilling our opponent here. Because our Omnath is already going to be at 96 power on our next turn. Unless our land triggers, it's going to be at like 192. And yeah, Artifact's going to give trample and the +2/+0. We could have made it even bigger if we really wanted to, but should definitely be good enough. Chumping with Catti-brie. Let's see what our opponent has that deals with a 96/7 ward. They're thinking about it. Rival Revival. They get a 7/6 Ilhard. That is pretty good. Blasphemous Act. Why would they do that? If they did not if they didn't get the Ilhard, Blasphemous Act might have been able to do more. Why would they do that? Doesn't make any sense. Okay. Well, I mean, yep, we're just going to go ahead and give trample and swing. Good game to our opponents. Blasphemous Act could have done it. They Blasphemous Act, playing the Rival Revival first made no sense. They did the Blasphemous Act, they could have had a higher chance of hitting Omnath, but they would have needed to hit 7 ticks on it. I don't think the odds were that good though. But 2-0, round 1 of the first Open League tournament round.